A name. It defines us, connects us to our past. But what if a name could be used to erase a criminal history? In a city striving for justice, one name was about to expose a fatal flaw. It was a simple, ordinary name, and it was a lie. This lie would test the very foundation of the justice system. On an unremarkable Tuesday, a woman was brought into a precinct for shoplifting. She gave her name, Sarah Miller. Date of birth, address, all standard. The system checked, Sarah Miller. Clean record, no warrants. But the woman wasn't Sarah Miller. She was an imposter. The real Sarah Miller was living her life elsewhere, unaware her identity was being used as a key to freedom. The system, designed for speed and fairness, was about to fail. It trusted the name, never questioning the face. Behind the borrowed name was a career criminal with a long rap sheet. Her real identity would have triggered alarms, but it was hidden beneath a stolen, spotless record. In the rush to process, no one looked deeper. The computer said she was safe. No one doubted it. So who was this woman? A master of deception, using a clean name to walk free. The system, built on trust, never saw the danger. And in that moment, a single lie slipped through the cracks. The justice system, meant to protect, had just been fooled. One name, one number, and a lie. Enough to break the machine. And the consequences would be devastating. To understand how this happened, you need to know the world she entered. It was the era of bail reform, a push for fairness and speed. The old system punished poverty: pay bail and walk, or stay locked up if you couldn't afford it. The city changed the rules, eliminating cash bail for most non-violent offenses. Now release depended on risk, flight risk, danger to the community, criminal history. If the risk was low, you walked free. No bail, just a promise to return. The process was swift, meant to keep jails from overflowing with low-level offenders. The woman calling herself Sarah Miller was processed under these new rules. Shoplifting, no criminal history. She was the perfect candidate for release. The risk assessment tool, fed only her self-reported data, gave her a green light. No judge needed to deliberate. The paperwork was stamped, and she was out in hours. But the system's speed was its weakness. It checked her name and date of birth, but not her fingerprints. Fingerprint checks took too long for quick releases. The system relied on trust, on the truthfulness of the accused. It was a fatal flaw, a system built on the assumption that no one would lie about who they were. And that assumption was about to be shattered. The revolving door spun, but it was wide open to deception, and the consequences would soon become clear. Her identity was a carefully crafted illusion. She had documents, a fake driver's license, maybe even a social security card, all matching the real Sarah Miller. To the booking officer, everything looked legitimate. In the fast-paced booking room, no one suspected a forgery for a minor crime. The process relied on self-reported information and plausible documents. No biometric checks, no fingerprint scans, no facial recognition. The system verified the name, not the person. The most reliable identifiers, fingerprints, were ignored for efficiency's sake. Why run a full background check for shoplifting? The new laws focused on the crime, not the criminal's true identity. It was a loophole a career criminal could walk through. Her real identity, with its red flags, stayed hidden. Had they known, she'd have faced a judge and high bail. But the system only saw Sarah Miller, a ghost in the machine. Freedom was a new opportunity for the woman who wasn't Sarah Miller. She didn't lay low, she went right back to crime. The city was her playground, and the rules were easy to bend. The system had no way to track her. She was a ghost. Weeks later, police responded to a violent home invasion. The victims described their attacker, and the evidence led to a familiar face, the same woman. This time, the crime was serious, a violent felony. The stakes were higher, and the booking process changed. Now they took her fingerprints. the one thing she couldn't fake. The prints were sent through federal databases. The truth emerged. She wasn't Sarah Miller. The fingerprints matched a different name, a career criminal with a long record. She was no first-time offender, but a seasoned criminal who had gamed the system. The ghost finally had a real name, and with it, a realization. She never should have been released. The system's flaw had let a dangerous person walk free. The consequences were now painfully clear. One lie had led to a violent crime. The justice system had failed to protect, and now it had to answer for its mistake. The revelation sent shockwaves through the courthouse and police department. How could this happen? The judge had followed the law minor charge, clean record, release mandated. But the record was a lie. The system, in its quest for speed and fairness, missed the most basic deception. The public was outraged. News reports fueled fear and frustration. A woman released for a small crime committed a much worse one. Critics saw it as proof that bail reform let dangerous people go free. Headlines screamed, "Bail reform blunder." Investigators retraced every step, the fake ID, the booking procedures, the guidelines. The problem wasn't a careless officer or judge, it was the rules themselves. Early bail reform focused on risk assessment, not identity verification. The system assumed the defendant's identity was accurate. Reformers wanted to fix wealth-based detention, not anticipate identity fraud. But this case exposed a blind spot. The woman who wasn't Sarah Miller revealed a flaw that demanded correction. The system had to change. And change was coming. Public backlash was swift and fierce. Critics called for a return to cash bail, arguing public safety had been sacrificed. Defenders of reform insisted the core idea was sound. This was a technical flaw, not a failure of principle. Both sides agreed. The system must verify identity, not just trust it. Lawmakers acted quickly, drafting new legislation. The result: mandatory biometric verification for all arrestees, no matter the charge. Fingerprints would be checked against state and national databases before release. The new laws kept bail reform's spirit, but added a crucial safeguard. The Sarah Miller law required a simple question: are you who you say you are? It added a short delay for fingerprint results, but everyone agreed it was necessary. The revolving door now had a secure lock. The system was learning from its mistakes. Justice was being rewritten, and the public demanded nothing less. One woman's lie became a turning point in modern justice. The case showed that a system's strength is measured by its weakest point. Good intentions aren't enough. Justice must be vigilant and verifiable. Mandatory fingerprinting closed the loophole, ensuring true criminal histories were revealed. The system balanced speed with security, preserving fairness and public safety. Now, the name on the screen had to match the person in the room. This case forced a necessary evolution in legal thinking. Reform became an ongoing process, not a single event. Justice is a path, not a destination. The legacy of this stolen identity is now law, a story of failure, correction, and progress. The balance between liberty and security was restored. One name, one lie, and a crime that never should have happened made the system stronger. Progress, hard won, but real.